Hello, this is Lorena, and I'm back with another Duel Links video. In this video, I'm going to be covering the content in the Fortune Cup arc. That's basically the story for this one. It starts off the Chronicles. So, as the first event in chronological order, it's naturally first. And this is going to be separate from the current event that's going on, just so I can make sure that I don't get too confused. And because I want separate folders for them. So, remember when I said that Yuse's Stardust Dragon got stolen? Yeah, this is a reference to that. Well, actually, that's exactly what... yeah, it's just confirming that it legit got stolen. So, to confront his rival and retrieve his stolen Stardust Dragon, Yusei heads to the city on his Duel Runner, the next evolution of the Duel Disk that combines dueling with speed. Okay. Duelists young and old, pro and amateur skill alike. Duelists young and old, pro and amateur alike. It's the moment you've been waiting for. Make some noise for the #1 ranked turbo duelist in the world, Jack Atlas. What say we kick this turbo duel into overdrive? It's the rematch of the century, and Hunter Pace is eager to regain his title. The field spell Speed World has been activated, so the action is about to start. Duel mode engaged. Autopilot standing by. Once Speed World has been activated, duelists can use speed spells. Which speed spell you can use is determined by your speed counter. So more speed equals more power. So here we go. Ready, set, duel. Hunter has played a powerful trap. Can Jack Atlas recover? You've had your fun, but it's time for my victory lap. There it is! The King's Ace Monster! Red Dragon Archfiend! Since you worked so hard to get back here, you can have the honor of falling to my dragon again. Yeah, since you worked so hard to get back here, you can have the honor of falling to my dragon again. Send him back to the junkyard with scorching crimson flare. Jack Atlas's unbeaten streak continues. Who's the master of faster? Who rules the duels? That's right, it's me. Okay, well, obviously this isn't going to be the actual event. I'd be surprised. Okay. Alright, so that's the prologue. And again, I can only view the scenes, which is completely fine. Okay, now, a lot of people know that Trudge started out as a complete asshole because apparently he's the same person that bullied Yugi. I don't understand how this is the same guy, but whatever. I mean, I've definitely heard of a lot of bullies becoming police officers, but Trudge does get better. Okay. Now, this is... actually, I think it just goes in order, so... Pre-duel for this one. There's a part 1 and a part 2. I may not even need parts for this. That might not be necessary. Well, I'm going to choose that for myself, honestly. Oh, before I continue, I have to take my medication. Because I'm not ashamed to say that I have it. I'm not. Seriously. Okay. Alright, let me continue. Is it the power of your ride that has catapulted you to the #1 ranking in the world? Catapulted? Yeah. The power of the ride, huh? I assume that's about Jack. Let's get this straight. It's not the power of the runner. It's the rider. I'll take on anyone on any ride and I'll still be victorious. And Yusei is here thinking about his stolen card. I bet you guys cannot tell. I bet you guys don't know who stole it. Although if you've seen 5Ds, you know exactly who stole it. Oh, hey Yusei. Oh, does anyone remember these guys? They kind of fell out of relevance later as the series progressed. But they're friends of Yusei's from the very early episodes. Before shit really got real. Though they may have been in some of the later episodes and I just don't remember. We would have watched the duel somewhere else, but the TV cable couldn't stretch any further. Now, I think it's important to mention the kind of setting that the series starts off in. This is the kind of story that starts off pretty depressing, actually. There's Domino City, and then there's Satellite. Yusei lives in Satellite, which is basically you're poor. So society is divided between the rich and the poor. The rich and the privileged live in Domino City. In Satellite, the poor people live there, and basically they give the people in the city everything they want, and Satellite just receives a lot of discrimination. It's very bad and very awful, but conditions in Satellite really aren't that great. Though I think it kind of improves a bit after the first half. I'm just not sure. I remember that it did improve in the game I was playing, so I assume I assume things got better. But yeah, at the start, Satellite was just a trash town, and people couldn't afford much, so they just worked with what they could find. And it's a very sad reality, especially when we consider the increasing gap between the rich and poor in the United States. But at least in 5Ds, it's not as horrifying because it's considered fiction here. Unfortunately, as fiction as it might be in this universe, gaps between the rich and the poor are not fiction. Sorry to say this, but Jack was amazing as always. You're apologizing. So guys, why are they saying this? Well, you may not know yet. You don't need to say you're sorry. Dude, I was asking why. Like, why is he... Yeah. And I was confused, but you say it's just, like, you don't need to say you're sorry. And I'm just over here like, why are you apologizing? Why do you need to even say it? Because there's only one person who should be sorry. At least your Duel Runner looks great on TV. Come on, don't bring that up. But it's true. That was Yusei's Duel Runner. If it weren't for Jack double-crossing and stealing his ride, Yusei'd be given that interview. Yeah, Jack betrayed them, basically. But Jack got all famous with Yusei's runner. All the fame, fortune, and glory are Jack's now. And so Jack got fame, he got fortune, and he got glory. And now, as it is with any poor-rich divide, there will be some cases where the poor will betray the poor to become rich. Because that's the kind of shit that happens when there's a massive divide between the rich and the poor. Everyone always wants more privilege. Pant. Yusei! Hey, Yusei! What's up, Raleigh? Wait till you see what I found for Yusei's runner. A Skylon 30 acceleration chip. A Skylon? Aren't those incredibly expensive? Did you find it or steal it? If you stole it, security will track you down. As with many people that are poor and maybe near starvation, sometimes people will resort to stealing. Although this isn't food, this is something different, but I mean, if you leave something prized and expensive lying around, someone's going to steal it, especially if it's right there to be stolen. Although sometimes people sneak into stores and steal things there, though that's definitely not as easy to do in the United States anymore, but still. So, Raleigh was asked if he stole this. And I'm just thinking, yeah, I remember how this went. And if Raleigh is being asked this, that means that he steals a lot of things. Because obviously there's no reason to ask a question if it's never happened before. And now security is obviously the police force in this series. But, I mean, there's a police force pretty much in every series, so not very surprising that there's law enforcement. Okay, give me a second. Now, it doesn't surprise me that law enforcement would also have a history of bullying, at least with Trudge. Easy, Blitz. This is just what I needed, really. Thanks. I knew you'd like it. It'll make your dual runner faster. You know, I think I misread some dialogue earlier, but that doesn't matter. You say... Oh, wow, there's a typo there. You say, I think it's time to bury the past. Move on and forget about Jack Atlas. But Jack also took Yusei's best card. Yusei's gotta go to the city and duel him. Yeah, that's right. Jack stole Yusei's Stardust Dragon. He's the one, he's the thief. Yusei, a satellite should just stay put. Jack didn't stay, so why should I? A valid question. What's that? It's sector security. ID number AWX860071. Raleigh Dawson, you are in possession of stolen property. Escape is not an option. You're surrounded. Look what you did. I promise I didn't steal anything. The chip was just lying there. It's gonna be alright. I'll buy you guys a couple of minutes. You, on the runner, pull over. There's no use trying to escape. Remember when I said that Trudge was an asshole? Well, right now he's an asshole. He only gets better later. So at the beginning of the series, you just hate his guts. Remember me? You say it's been a while. Oh, You may notice something about Yusei's face. Well, I'll get to that later. I knew with the right bait, Rally would lead us right to you. You did that on purpose, Trudge? Wow, that's exactly the kind of thing you do, isn't it? I knew I should have locked you up when you were a kid. Looks like I'll finally get my wish. Now tell me, are you going to make this easy and come along quietly? I will, if you can beat me. You think you can outduel sector security when the rules say you satellites can't carry cards? Yeah, there's a restriction on that too. But you know what? This is a card game series, so why would anyone care about this particular law? Rules were made to be broken. Yusei's like, rules were made to be broken. That's just a shorter version of what I just said. Yeah, Yusei's just saying he's just saying the shorter version of whatever I say. If I win this duel, Rally and me are free to go. No questions asked. What's in it for me should I accept your proposal? Should you accept and win, you'll tell Sector Security to call off their hunt for Rally. What? Should you accept and what? What the hell is he doing here? Now, I do realize that I don't understand what tactic he's using. Yeah. How does that benefit me? Because I'll say it was me who stole the chip. And that I tried to flee, but couldn't outrun you. Oh, that's the trick he played. A statement like that'll bump you up to sergeant. So what do you say, officer? You've got yourself a deal, fool. Alright. Now that's before the duel. And now post-duel, which is after the duel. There goes my promotion. I guess I'm going back to being a duel runner meter maid. A duel runner meter maid. Wow. And this is on Yusei's side. Okay, hold on a second. Alright, so after this, I'm going to end the video and continue in the next one. It looks like there may actually be a fair number of parts for this. And that's good news, because I plan to make multiple parts of this. Alright. Your deck's made up of cards others throw away. Even if you patch it up, trash is still trash. And you're wrong. When cards come together, they can achieve what they can never do alone. You know, I somewhat slightly think the same thing as you say. I mean, I do like some cards that are generally considered utter shit. But then I'm just like, don't insult my cards. Yeah, it's just like when I heard someone insulting Elemental Heroes and I'm like, don't insult my cards. I'm actually good at using that deck. It's go time. I summon the tuner monster Junk Synchron. You have a tuner monster? That can't be. And yet somehow it is. I tune my Junk Synchron with my Speed Warrior. Even the tiniest scrap has value, and this monster will prove it. I Synchro Summon. Appear, Junk Warrior. That doesn't look like trash to me. What? A satellite can Synchro Summon? I know there's a gap between the rich and the poor, but humans are still humans. Stop being an idiot. Go, Junk Warrior! Scrap Fist! Ah! There goes my promotion. I guess I'm going back to being a dull runner meter maid. Yeah. Don't underestimate us, satellites, or our decks. What you see as weakness is what makes us strong. Things ain't over between you and me. Get ready, New Domino City. I'm coming. And I'm just going to be completely honest here. I think that going through a lot of hardship really does help with being a good person. Because for some reason, you need that to be a good person, though. If you go through too much of that and there isn't anything to soften the blow, you can also become a very awful person because of that pain and suffering. I didn't. I'm actually pretty lucky in that regard, but I also want to say that I actually feel like I was just brought up right. So I'm a good person still, even though I've gone through all of this shit. Anyway guys, that's the end of this video. I will see you guys in my next one.